Welcome to Burnaby, British Columbia, where the Richmond Ravens have made the trek today to take on the Burnaby Wildcats. Wildcats just barely ahead of the Ravens in the standings. Ravens are ranked higher. Burnaby and the Richmond have had a good battle all year long. Richmond, though, with the puck in the Burnaby zone early here in the period. Miguel has it. She gets some help on the wall with Hernandez. Hernandez tries to put it back to the blue line, and that gets past Macy and all the way down the rink. There's a race for it. First one back is Macy. She backhands it around the wall. It's picked up by Hernandez as the Ravens try to work them the breakout. Play picked up, and it comes across through the neutral or the middle of the ice and over to the near side. Now back in behind the net. Macy has it on her stick. Macy takes a second. Now she looks to put the puck on the wall on the near side. Ravens try their breakout. It gets turned back by the home team. Now Macy's going to headman the puck forward herself. Macy skating up ice. She gets center ice and dumps it in. It goes around to the far side, and they're saying Macy didn't make it across the center line, and we get a stoppage in play. Icing called, and the puck goes back down to the other end of the ice. Face-off's going to be the right side of Babcock early here in the first period with 14:13 remaining in the period. Puck is dropped. Face-off won by the Ravens into the corner. Picked up by the Ravens forward. She puts it around to the far side looking for Basquette. Basquette reverses the play back looking for Morin. Morin from behind the net. She gets it turned over, though, as she had some pressure on her as the puck comes over in the corner on the near side. Now back to the blue line on the stick of the Burnaby team. Burnaby from the point, shot towards the net. It comes to the side of the net. Babcock makes the stop and holds on to that. And we get a stoppage in play with 13:48 remaining in the first period. The face-off is going to be the left side of Babcock deep in the Ravens zone. Ravens getting a forward line change. Hernandez and coming out there for Cabana coming out there for the Ravens. Puck is dropped, face-off won by the Ravens. They're going to carry it in behind the net. Now from behind the net, they come over to the wall on the near side. Cabana chips it forward, and she gives chase. Cabana is going to carry it down and fights off a check. From behind the goal line, deep in the Wildcat zone, it gets on the Tran's stick. Tran, she carries it out and now goes to the point. Sear unable to hold the blue, and now she's going to have to retreat back as it hops over her stick. Sear comes off the glass and it comes back into the Burnaby zone. Burnaby carries it up and into the Ravens zone. They put themselves outside. Ravens able to take advantage of that and carry it down the ice. Back on the Cabana's stick. Cabana with a move. Now she puts it towards the net and gets angled off. Play gets put down the ice, and it's going to end up coming wide. Icing called as Babcock let that go, and we have 13:04 remaining in the first period. The faceoff's going to come deep in the Burnaby zone to the left side of the Burnaby goaltender. Kay, Tran, and McDonald out there for the Ravens forward line. Nishi and Amade are the defenders. Puck drop, face-off picked up there by Burnaby. They're going to backhand it around to the far side of the rink. Picked up by the forward, and she's going to chip it up. Ravens read that. They get a stick on it, but Burnaby finds a way to go off the wall and out to the neutral zone. Now McDonald gets a stick on that, puts it back in. Kay gives chase, but that gets stopped, and now Burnaby goes back the other way with it. Burnaby through the neutral zone. They get stopped up by the Ravens. Amade with it. She loses her footing, picks it back up again, now chips it down ice, and it's going to be on the stick of Tran. Tran unable to handle it cleanly, but the puck comes back into the Burnaby zone. Ravens hold the zone. It's on Kay's stick. Kay unable to handle it. It comes off of her backhand, and now the Burnaby team has control of it. They carry it up ice. Burnaby through the neutral zone into a shooting position. They drop it over onto the far side. Now a shot towards the net. Babcock makes the save. No rebound there. We get a whistle with 12:15 remaining in the first period. Face off the left side of Babcock deep in the Ravens zone. Puck drop, face off won by the Ravens. They're going to carry it in behind their own net. Now on the wing stick. Wing chips it over. Back to a defender. Now back for Wing. Wing loses a handle on it. She picks it up again and now goes over to the far side. The Ravens with a little chip to the middle, and now they're going to have control of it. They carry it up, and it's on that's Macy's stick. Macy works her way into a shooting position. Shot right on, saved by the goaltender. Rebound comes down in front, but cleared to the wall by the Burnaby Wildcats. Wildcats looking to complete the breakout. They get it into the neutral zone, and now onto the stick of the Ravens. David, she puts it over for Hernandez. Hernandez loses a handle on a stick check, and now the puck comes into the corner. It gets underneath one of the officials, and now the Ravens have to recollect it. Puck squirts its way out into the neutral zone. Macy picks it up. She puts it over on the near side. Chipped in by Tran. And the Ravens give chase on the far side. Sears there. Hernandez is there. Hernandez battling with it. She gets some help from Sear. There's 3 purple jerseys as the puck gets center, but it's on the stick of the Wildcats as they work their way up ice. It gets past Macy and all the way down the ice. She's going to be the first one there, though. And now picked up by Burnaby. Burnaby tries to center it. That's onto the stick of one of the Ravens. They clear it out of harm's way into the wall. Macy puts it in behind her own net. Now a stop up. Back on Macy's stick. Macy's chip forward, ends up getting to the blue line. Held in, though, by the Burnaby Wildcats. They chip it to the middle, and Sear reads that play. She's going to bring it down ice. Sear to the outside now. Fights off a check, now a stop up, and she gets the puck stripped off of her as she gets triple teamed. A wing with it. She leaves it for Miguel. Miguel walks the blue line, chips it over to an open wing for Wing, and now Wing's going to pick it up behind the net. From behind the net, Wing tries to go back to the blue line. She gets her stick lifted, and now the play comes back on the wall and chipped down ice. Ravens give chase. Morin after it. Morin unable to get there before icing, and we get a stoppage in play with 10:24 remaining in the period. Face-off is going to come deep in the Wildcat zone. It's going to be to the right side of the goaltender. Pascat and Wing with Miguel out there for the forward line. We got Sear and Morin back on the blue. Face-off won by the Wildcats. They're going to take it in behind their net. Miguel gives chase. She cuts off the player who spins back the other way, and now with some speed, the Wildcats work their way to the net. Babcock gets a hold of that, and now it comes off of a funny angle on a rebound and goes in through Babcock and into the back of the net. Ravens down by 1 with 10:07 remaining in the first period. Babcock made the first save, but the rebound came onto the stick of one of the Wildcat players, and I think they put it off the inside of her pad and threw her 5-hole into the net. So it's a weird one, but nonetheless, the Ravens are going to work on getting back from that one. Face off won by the Wildcats. They put it into the Ravens zone. Wildcats pick it up in the corner. Now back picked up as they tried to come back to the wall. Shot goes all across the zone, hits a body. Now the Ravens get it on their stick. The Ravens try to chip it down ice, and they're successful. Now we have a 2-on-1 for the Ravens as Cabana works her way to the outside. Her centering attempt gets stopped by the defender. Now she gets it back on her stick. Cabana fights off a stick check. The play comes down the wall. Amade steps up on the play, and the puck gets out to the neutral zone. Cabana gets back on side. She chips it back deep and gives chase. Puck over to the near side. Hernandez from behind the net. She's going to stop up the player. Now Cabana puts pressure on the other side as the puck goes out to the wall on the far side. Stepping up for the play is Macy. She gets some help there from Tran, and now the puck put back to the neutral zone. Hernandez back headmans it across the rink, and now it goes over to the near side for Nishi. Nishi. She puts it in deep, and now it comes over to the near side. Ravens look to center it. It's on the stick of Tran. Tran can't get a shot off, and now the play comes through the neutral zone and out to the far side. Ravens get a hold of it. Cage just dumps it back in, and now it goes back to the neutral zone and down the ice. First one there is David. David being watched. Puck comes back to Macy. Macy steps in behind her net. Macy looking for a place to go with it. Macy to the outside. It's stick check, but picks it back up again, and now the puck gets chipped down the near side. A flip play out to the neutral zone, and now the Wildcats have to touch up. Ravens take advantage of that as McDonald carries it up ice. First shot in on net. Saved by the goaltender who holds onto that one as Tran's on her doorstep. And we're going to get a stoppage in play with 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first period. Out to take the face-off is Hernandez. Puck is dropped, face-off won by the Wildcats. They carry it in behind their goal line. Now they're going to spin, move back, and they get it down ice. Ravens back after it. Babcock comes out to play it. She chips it to the wall as she had pressure on her. Now the play goes in behind the net. They stop up and come out the near side. Now turn back the other way. Puck over in the corner. Now chip back to the blue line. It gets all the way down the ice as the defender's unable to hold on to it. Ravens give chase as the Wildcats stop it up. They're going to chip it off the wall, and that's going to spring 3 Wildcats the other direction. And into the Ravens zone they come. A cross-seam pass, turned to the outside by the Ravens defenders. And now from behind the net, Wildcats have it. They go off the wall, back to the blue line, walking the blue line. Now a shot towards the net, stopped by the Ravens, and the Ravens are going to carry it. That's Hernandez with it on her stick. Hernandez cuts to the outside now. Hernandez carries it down low, and as she gets angled out, she's looking for some help down low. Hernandez tries to put it back to the blue line, and now he gets on the stick of Basquet. Basquet and Hernandez working it down low, and now goes over to the far side. Wing comes in. Wing stops the player. Now it comes back out in the neutral zone as the Wildcats turn it back the other way. Play onto the neutral zone and now off the wall and into the Raven zone. It comes back into the neutral zone, and there's a bit of an open seam there, but the Wildcats are going to be the first ones there. Wildcats with one move, and now they get stopped by the Ravens. It gets dropped back for Miguel. Miguel in a foot race for it. She's unable to get there, though, and it gets cleared around to the far side. Ravens now keep it in, down low. Now back to the point on the far side. Morin puts it to Basquet. Basquet back to Morin. Morin, she walks herself into the middle, and now over to Sear. Sear with a shot towards the net. It goes just wide, and now cleared around the wall and down the ice as Morin gives chase. And onto the stick of one of the one of the Wildcats. Wildcats get a shot on goal, saved by Babcock, and the play comes around to the near side as the Ravens clear the zone. It goes across and into the neutral zone, and now chipped deep by Wing from behind the net. Wing gives chase as the defender goes around the other way. Now it ends up on the stick of Amadei. Amadei looking forward, and that's going to be icing on the play, I believe. 5 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the first period. Ravens down by 1. Face-off will be deep in the Ravens zone to the right side of Babcock. Puck drop, face-off won by the Ravens into the corner, picked up by Amadei. Amadei from behind the net. He reverses the play on the near side, looking for an open wing, and now the Ravens chip and chase it. That's Sear after it. Sear is going to put some pressure on the defender. Now comes on the Cabana stick. Cabana does a good job of kicking it forward to herself, and now she reverses the play and puts it into a scoring position. Ravens come back to Cabana, back out to the blue line. From the blue line, it's shot through and hits a body in front. Sear battles for it. Now Tran tries to get it, picked off of her stick by the Wildcats, and they're going to chip it in. Babcock makes the save as it was a tough one to handle, a rolling puck, but goes to the outside. Wildcats chip it back in. Onto the stick of Nishi. Nishi around looking for Amadei. Amadei leaves it for the forward. Now back off the wall, walking the blue, shot towards the net. It comes out the other side. Ravens trying to break it out. They're going to chip it forward. That's going to come all the way down the ice as the Ravens are looking for a change. Not enough for icing, though. And a long lead pass there by the Wildcats. Get it out to the Ravens blue line before the Ravens get control of it. McDonald with it. McDonald, he's going to get to a shooting position. Shot, save. Now it gets put back into the high slot. Picked up, though, by the Wildcats. Now the Wildcats 2-on-1 going back the other way. They lose a handle on the passing play, and now they're going to pick it up down low. They try to chip it into a scoring position. That comes right onto the stick of Tran, and Tran's going to carry it up ice. Tran from the outside. She's going to wear a check, but she tries to get it by. Now the puck gets stopped up by her, or for her, and she's got to fight it off. It comes back to Macy. Macy has to fight off a check, and now she puts it towards the net. That's gloved down by the Wildcats defender and chipped down the ice. David back after it. She's going to pick it up and look down the wing. Now her stretch pass gets pulled out of the air and onto the stick of Sear. Sear looks for David. David across for the Ravens. Tran. Tran gets her pocket picked, and now the puck goes back the other way. A chip in behind the net as Macy picks it up. Macy looks up the wall, and now she's going to chip it and looking forward for Sear. Sear with Hernandez. Back to Hernandez. Hernandez tries to cut to the net. She gets her puck taken off of her stick, and now the Wildcats have it. Wildcats Put it up ice onto Sear's stick. Sear looking to go to the far side with it. It ends up on Tran's stick. Tran stops up and now she reverses the play onto Sear's stick. Sear puts it back in the zone. Ravens go for a change as the Wildcats pick it up from behind the net. Now their stretch pass gets out to the neutral zone and held. The Ravens now trying to just keep control of it. Sear with it. She goes off the wall. A great bounce pass onto the stick to Basquet. Basquet stops up. Basquet with 3 jerseys on her. Now the play goes up in the air, bounces a couple times, and ends up on Sear's stick. Sear goes across the ice looking for Morin. Morin unable to handle the rolling pass, and it ends up in the middle and chipped forward by the Ravens center. Ravens give chase, wing after it. Now over to the far side. Ravens can't hold his own. Now they get onside as Miguel chips it in deep. 2:23 remains in the first period. Ravens down by 1 as the puck goes around into the neutral zone and now out to the outside and back into the Burnaby end. Burnaby stop up. Now they're going to go in behind the net. They chip it off the wall and it comes back out into the neutral zone where Morin picks it up. Morin goes across ice. Now chipped to the near side. Basquet has it. Basquet puts it in. Now it's turned back the other way and Burnaby comes across into the Ravens zone. Play turned over and the Ravens with a good back check there pick it up. Their stretch pass hits the player coming off the bench. He can't handle it cleanly and now Burnaby shoots it towards the net. It goes high over the net. Now out to the near side. From the near side after it's Cabana. Cabana leaves it there for Tran. Tran unable to handle it cleanly, but she forces it forward. Now Hernandez gets it off of her stick and the Wildcats come back the other way. Wildcats shoot it towards the net. Babcock makes a save and holds on to that with 1:22 remaining in the first period. Faceoff's going to be the left side of Babcock deep in the Raven zone. I'll take the faceoff is Hernandez. Puck is dropped, picked up there by the Wildcats. Now comes back to the wall and Ishii goes to battle for it. Play continues as it comes to the blue line. Shot, save made by Babcock, who holds on to that one. Faceoff's going to stay to that left side of Babcock, deep in the Raven zone. Hernandez out for the faceoff shot right towards the net. Babcock can't handle that. It gets chipped out, or doesn't get to her. I guess it gets chipped before it gets to her. And now the play comes out into the neutral zone. Ravens chip it forward. It gets on the stick of the Wildcats, and they put it back into the Raven zone. Now the Ravens cycle it D to D. It gets pulled down, and now they get some help from Hernandez, who Hernandez carries it up ice. Hernandez cuts to the middle. Hernandez along the blue line. She gets pulled down, and we're going to have a penalty coming on the play as Cabana picks it up. 34.9 seconds remains in the first period, and the Ravens go to the power play. Down 1. The faceoff is going to be to the left side of the Wildcats goaltender. Your power play unit looks to be Kay, McDonald, Tran, Macy, and David. Face-off drop picked up by the Wildcats. They're going to get it to the blue line. The Ravens hold it in. It goes over to the wall. And now back towards the goaltender. Picked up by the defender. She's going to fire it down ice, and the Ravens have to retreat back in their zone. Babcock leaves that for Macy. Macy picks it up now. Macy over for McDonald. McDonald, first unable to cleanly get it out of the zone. Now it gets put back into the Raven zone. Macy with it on her stick. Macy from behind the net stops up, and now she's going to try and reverse the play. That gets into the stick of the attacking player, and that's going to do it for the first period. End of the first period, Ravens down by 1. Shots on goal are 7-3 in favor of the Burnaby Wildcats. All right, welcome back to me. It's at the start of the second period, 15 minutes on the clock. Ravens are going to be 5-on-4 for a minute 25 or less as they're looking to break the shutout of the goaltender at the other end of the ice. Babcock in net. Macy and Sear out there for the forward line, or the defensive line. Miguel, Hernandez, and McDonald out there for the forward line. Miguel has it on her stick as she carries it in, and the Ravens look to set up. Miguel down low. She gets the stick pulled off, or puck pulled off of her stick, and now gets some help from McDonald. Miguel battled down low for it. And now picked out by the Wildcats. Wildcats get it all the way down the ice and back after the Sear. Babcock stops that up for her defender. Sear from behind the net looking to welcome back as we're working our way through some problems here as the Ravens are right on the doorstep trying to get a goal of the net, but the goaltender makes the save and now the puck out to the outside. Puck comes over to the far side, now chipped in by the Ravens. The Ravens continue to control the play. The shot towards the net, saved by the goaltender. Rebound, puts out to the outside. Now the play continues. It goes down into the front of the Ravens bench as a battle ensues. Ravens trying to hold it in. It gets out to the blue line, and now the Ravens have to go back and collect it in their own zone. From behind the net, Sear has it on her stick. Sear goes off the wall looking for Tran. I guess just in front of her as it goes across the other way. Ends up on Tran's stick. Tran chips it forward for Sear. It comes back to Sear as it bounces its way into the zone. And now Sear's going to try and battle off a couple of the Wildcats players as she tries to carry it towards the net. Ravens coming off the bench have to be careful. And now they get it cleared over into an open wing. I have to apologize. It looks like we're having some problems with the software today. Nonetheless, it's still 1-0 in favor of the Burnaby Wildcats. Puck comes on to the stick of Hernandez, and now back for Sear. Now chipped back into the Ravens zone. It hits the official. Now the Ravens clear it out of the zone. It comes back in, and the ref signals offside. So The Wildcats have to touch up. We have 5:28 remaining in the period. Sear picks it up from behind her feet. She pulls it forward and she's going to skate it up to the center line before she dumps it towards the far end of the ice. From behind the net, two Ravens get to battle for it. It stays on, it comes back to Hernandez. Hernandez keeps it in down low. Hernandez double teamed. She gets some help now from Tran. Tran back to the blue line with it. Now the Ravens flat to Tran. Tran with a couple of moves come over to the near side for David. David shoots it through traffic. That hits some bodies and comes out wide of the net. Play continues. Shot from the point. Saved by the goaltender. Now back out to the point. Ravens step up on that, but it's going to work its way out into the neutral zone. And now Amade has to be careful as it gets shot towards the net, wide of the net, and over to the far side. Now the Wildcats try to advance it forward. Ravens chip it down the ice, and that's going to be enough to get into the Wildcat zone, but not enough for icing as the Wildcats work on their breakout. They can't hit the outside, and now from the outside, they try to cut towards the net, lose a handle on it in the last second, and now they're going to put it back to the blue line on the near side. From the near side, a shot blocked there by Sear onto the stick of David. David carries it to the outside. Now she tries to chip it forward, ends up on Miguel's stick. Miguel loses a handle on it, but she's able to get it out to the neutral zone. Now back for David. David chips it in onto the stick of one of the defenders for the Wildcats, and now the Wildcats turn it back the other way. Amade back after it. Now a couple of players come together, and it looks like Miguel's going to get called. It's going to be 2 minutes, and it's going to be tripping. Interference is the call against the Richmond Ravens, I think. Yep, Miguel. So the faceout's going to be deep in the Raven zone to the left side of Babcock, I think. Sorry, right side of Babcock, Sear and Morin out there for the defenders. Tran and Tran are your forward line for this penalty killing unit. Puck is dropped, face off one by the Wildcats. They carry it to the outside, now back to the blue line. From the blue line, they chip it back down low. From down low, they try to go back to the blue line. And now to the point, a shot from the point, wide of the net. It comes out to the side. Babcock stabs that over into the corner, and now the play continues. It comes into the middle of the ice, and now walking is the defender. She shoots it, but that hits a body in front and goes to the outside. A minute 35 remaining in the man advantage for the Burnaby Wildcats as they go back to the blue line, and now D to D. And from the far side, they try to chip it to the back door. The Ravens read that one, and now they get it out of the zone. Wildcats being chased by Tran. Deep in their own zone, Tran slows them down, but not completely as they bring it back into the Ravens' end. From the wall, now they look to set up. A short side shot blocked by Sear. Sear holds it to the outside. Now comes right out front. Babcock makes the save, and she's going to hold on to that one with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second period. 101 remains in the man advantage for the Burnaby Wildcats. Ishii, Amade, Hernandez, and Sear are your defensive core for this second penalty killing unit. A chip off the wall back to Hernandez. She gets it out and down the ice. Sear gives chase as the Wildcats look to break out. The pass across the zone takes a hop on the receiver and goes out of play. So we get a stoppage in play with 2:34 remaining in the second period. 45 seconds remaining in the Burnaby man advantage, and the faceoff is going to be deep in the Burnaby zone to the left side of the goaltender. Hernandez to take the faceoff. She wins that one cleanly. Ravens trying to put that back to the point. Now the play continues as the Ravens have a player down. It goes out to the far side. Now the whistle goes as Amade tries to pick herself off the ice. She got hit hard and she's staying down. Two minutes and 23 seconds remain in the period. 34 seconds of the power play for the Burnaby Wildcats. Amade remains on the ice. She tried to crawl herself to the bench here, and then I think at the recommendation of her coach. Took a second or two. Hopefully, it's a wind knocked out of her. Never a good thing, but better than a head injury or anything like that. She's now rolled on her back. Looks like she's moving on her own accord, which is great to see. She came together as she kept the play in the zone with the advancing Burnaby Wildcat player. It looked like it was accidental contact, but nonetheless contact. It'll turn yellow.
I see. If it turns yellow. Okay.
Amade gets herself up off the ice, and now she's looking like she's going to be able to make it to the bench on her own accord, which is great to see. Hernandez comes to have a conversation with the refs. Just trying to get clarification about whether or not you're allowed to run through the puck carrier at the blue line. The Ravens are just trying to figure out if that's a fair, clean hit or not. I think it was unintentional. The ref said they don't see it, shrug their shoulders, and away we go as the Ravens remain at a man disadvantage for 34 seconds. Whistle goes, signaling that they'd like to start the period. And now the coach would like to have a word with the officiating staff. All right. Looks like the girls are going to make their way down to the right side of Babcock, deep in the Raven zone. Lauren, Sear, and Hernandez. Puck is dropped, face off one. It goes to the middle of the ice, and the Ravens get a stick on that and clear it out of the zone. Now D to D on the Burnaby end. Burnaby carries it in the zone, and now with a quick stick lift there, and now a shot attempt. It goes out to the outside as it hits some bodies. The Ravens get a stick on that one, and now they get it to the neutral zone. It bounces its way through some feet, and now picked up by the defender who carries it off the wall and into the Ravens zone. Ravens stop up and they put it back down ice as Sear gets a stick on that one, and now the Ravens forward group is going to change. We're 5-on-5 here as Miguel comes out of the box, and now Tran puts some pressure on the Ravens. Miguel gets a stick on it, and then she puts it back in behind the net. Wildcats try to go back to the blue line. Ravens there. Now they put it back to their blue line themselves. It gets chipped back in by Sear. Play reversed from behind the net. Tran's there. Tran battling for it in the corner. She gets some help from Miguel. Now a huddle in the corner as a battle ensues. The play continues, and it comes out to the near side. Now back to the blue line. Onto the stick of Sear, over for Morin. Morin lets it go. That shot, I think, hit a body and goes just wide as it comes to the near side. Now the play cleared over to the far side. From the far side, Miguel gets it on her stick. Miguel over to the wall. Now in behind the net for Tran. Back to Miguel. Miguel works her way towards the net. Miguel from behind the net. Back to the blue line. From the blue line for Sear. Sear back down low looking for for Sear. Sear now shoots it towards the net. Saved by the goaltender who holds onto that one. We got 36.5 seconds remaining in the second period. Ravens down 1-0. Hernandez out there for the Ravens forward to take the face-off here. Face-off won by the Wildcats. They put it around behind the Ravens net, behind the Wildcat net. And now off the wall, Macy takes a shot towards the net. The goaltender makes a save, and the play goes over to the corner. And now onto the stick of the Ravens. Ravens take a little bit of a hit there. See her in after it. She has more than hell. Sorry, Cabana helping her. Now Cabana unable to handle it. It gets on, squirts past her, and now the Wildcats come up ice. Wildcats into the neutral zone. Cabana back after it. It gets onto two Wildcats from the outside. Now it's shot after the whistle, signaling the end of the period. Babcock watches that one go wide as we come out of that period 1-0 for the Burnaby Wildcats. Shots on goal look to be 14-10 in favor of the Richmond Ravens now. To start the third period, 14 minutes on the clock. The girls working their way to center ice. Looks like starting off this period, we're going to have Macy and David Line with McDonald, Hernandez, and Miguel out there as the forwards. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Ravens. They're going to try and chip it forward. Now onto Miguel's stick. Miguel works her way to the outside on the near side. She chips it in deep and now gives chase. Play gets turned back and now chip forward. McDonald ends up on the back of the net as it comes off its moorings. We get a stoppage in play with 13:45 remaining in the game. Face-off is going to be, I think, over on this side, to the left side of the Burnaby goaltender. Miguel remains on to take, sorry, that's going to be, Miguel to take the face-off. Face-off won by Miguel, a shot towards the net. It was not all of it, so it gets cleared to the outside, and now Chip down ice. First one there is Burnaby. No ice on the play, they say. And now from the weird angle, it comes out to the side of the net. Babcock dives on top of that after she makes the first save. 13:29 remaining in the game. Puck drop, face off won by the Ravens. Picked up by Sear. Sear chips it forward. It gets chipped back in and now out by the Richmond Ravens. It comes across the zone as the Wildcats looking for an open wing, and now the Ravens tap it back to their own defender. That forward play hits a body in front, and now the Ravens go across ice. It ends up on wing stick, basket stick, and Basket works her way to the outside. Basket now shoots it towards the net. That's off a set of shin pads and down low. Now Basket comes back to her. onto the stick of the Burnaby Wildcats, and Nishi steps up on the play. Wing steps in to help her out, and now the play gets cleared down ice. Sear in after it. She chips it off the wall, ends up on the stick of the Burnaby Wildcats, and now they carry it to the outside. Burnaby tries to chip it forward. Ravens unable to handle it as the play comes back in behind the net. It ends up on one of the Ravens' sticks. They're going to chip it up the wall, and now it comes back to the defender. She goes off the wall, looking or off the glass, looking for Wing. Wing chips it again off the glass, and she gets chased, but it ends up on the stick of the Burnaby player. Burnaby over to the far side, and now it comes back to the blue line. Ravens hold the blue and chip it back deep as they go back after it. We get a start in the forward line change. Tran in after it. Now it comes to the middle of the ice and onto the stick of Cabana. Cabana looking for Hernandez. It just gets in behind her. Play continues, and now we have a penalty coming up. It's against the Richmond Ravens. It's going to be 2 minutes, and it's going to be interference, they say, as it looks like Tran makes her way to the box. We have 12:04 remaining in the third period. Ravens now go to a penalty kill with 2 minutes on the clock. Cabana and Hernandez out there for the Ravens. Forward. Hernandez to take the face-off. Puck is dropped. Face-off won by Hernandez. It goes out to the wall and back to the blue line. And now a pass across from the top of the point. Ravens give chase. And now the play continues as there's a battle on the wall. Puck put towards the net. Babcock makes the save. Now gets chipped over onto the wall on the far side. Walking out, a shot towards the net. Babcock clears that out to the wall. Now it's kept in down low by the Wildcats. Wildcats from behind the net. They put it over to the side. Now back to the blue line. From the blue line to the point. From the point, a shot through traffic. Bounces around. It's in the feet right on the blue paint. It gets cleared out to the outside. Ravens trying to put pressure on. There's a minute 13 remaining in the man advantage for the Burnaby Wildcats. Play comes in behind the net. Ravens are going to try and clear it forward. That's held in at the blue line. Now chipped into the high slot. Picked up there by David. David off her backhand, but unable to clear the zone. It gets back in behind the Ravens net. Morin with it on her stick. Morin turns and puts it. It ends up right on the slot. Shot. Save made. Rebound comes out. And Babcock finds that and holds on to it. With 48 seconds remaining in the man advantage for the Burnaby Wildcats. 10:52 remains in the game. Ravens down 1-0. Puck is dropped, face off one, back to the blue line. From the blue line, shot towards the net, blocked there by the Ravens. Sear is going to pick it up. Sear with it on her stick. She's going to cut to the middle now. She chips it in, looking for Tran. Tran gets a stick on it as it gets chipped forward by the Wildcats. Wildcats with a spin move, and now a pass forward. Red there by Sear. Sear battles off the check and now goes in behind the net. Sear looking to the outside. Sear now. She tries to pass it into Macy, and now lead. She has to retreat as they're watching out for that lead pass. Play gets down into the Raven zone onto Sear's stick. Sear doubles back now. Sear working her way up ice as she fights off a couple of stick checks. Now she's taken down and she draws a penalty. Puck is touched by the Burnaby Wildcats, and we have a penalty on the play. It's going to be against one of the Burnaby players. The Ravens are going to go 4-on-4 for 1 second, and then they get a 2-minute power play. Well, 1 minute and 59-second power play. Casey, David, Miguel, and Hernandez out there for the Ravens. They say the faceoff is going to be over on the far side, to the right side of the goaltender, deep in the Wildcat zone. Miguel to take the faceoff. Faceoff won by the Wildcats. Back to Macy. Macy, careful not to get her pocket picked there. She has to do a couple of moves there. She fights off the check, and now it's just chipped forward by Hernandez. It comes over to Miguel on the wall. Miguel puts it back down low. She puts it out front. It comes to the side of the net. The Ravens try to get into a scoring position. Miguel back to the blue line. From the blue line, Macy goes over for David. David winds up, slap shot off the post. Rebound, bounces around, and goes in the net. Ravens capitalize on the power play as the puck goes off. A 1T from David onto the post. It bounces around, and the Ravens are there to play Miguel, pick up the garbage and put it in the net. 1-1 is the score with 9:37 remaining in the period. Tran, McDonald, and Kay out there for the Ravens forward line here. Puck is dropped. It comes back. Sear puts it off the wall looking for Kay. Kay's going to carry it in. Kay loses the handle on it, but she puts it towards the net. And now Tran gives chase as the Wildcats get it up. The Ravens stop it at the blue line. Now they're walking in with it. McDonald gets a stick on that one. And McDonald carries it in behind the net. McDonald fights off a check now. And now a second check. It comes into their feet. Now McDonald puts it towards the net. Kay with a shot on net saved by the goaltender. Ravens continue with the battle in the corner, and now it comes over onto the stick of the Wildcats. Wildcats looking for an open wing. They chip it off the wall and out, down ice. Ravens have to retreat back to pick it up as it gets past Sear at the blue line. Now Sear with it. She's looking for the stretch pass to McDonald. McDonald just touches it and lets it go forward. Now D to D by the Wildcats. Wildcats now reverse the play back to the near side. Now they go forward into the neutral zone with it through the feet of one of the Ravens forwards. Now into the Ravens zone with some speed. They cut to the outside. A shot from the outside. It goes around behind the net. And now on the stick is Kay looking for Tran. And now onto the stick of Sear. Sear off the wall looking for a bounce play for Tran. And now the Wildcats read that. They walk their way into a shooting position. They shoot from a sharp angle. Babcock makes the save. It goes out to the side of the net. Now shot wide of the net. As the Ravens get control of it, they get it down ice and go for a change. Tran gives chase. It gets turned back. And now the Ravens stop at the blue line. They come over to the near side. Cabana with it. Cabana chips it in from behind the net. It goes in to the near side. Cabana is right there. Cabana battles off the first check. Now the second. It comes to the blue line. She gets some help there. Battle at the blue line. Now the Ravens get control of it. They shoot it towards the net. The goaltender keeps the play alive. Now she stops it, and we get a stoppage in play with 7:47 remaining in the third period. Ravens tied 1-1 against the Burnaby Wildcats. Face off to the left side of the Burnaby goaltender. Miguel comes out. She's got Basket and Wing with her. Puck is dropped, face off one back to the Burnaby team. They're going to put it in behind the net. Now they double back as Basket gives pressure. Miguel comes out, and now the play goes up out of the rink as the clearing attempt goes off Miguel's stick. Face off remains in the zone. Miguel's going to take the face off. Face off one by the Burnaby team. They take it to the side of their net. Now in behind. From behind the net, they put it over to the far side. Ravens Wing walks the blue, and now Wing looking for a place to go with it. She passes it over to the wall, and the Ravens put it towards the net. Now backhand just wide as it comes over to the near side. From the near side, the play continues, and now it gets past the defender and down into the Ravens zone. Back after it is Miguel as she's covering for a defense, and we're going to call that icing as the whistle goes. 7:14 remains in the game. 1-1 is the score. Basie and Sear out there with Hernandez, Tran, and Sear. Face off reversed around by the Wildcats after it is Sear. Now it gets onto the stick of the Wildcats and back into the Raven zone. Back after it is Macy. An icing called as it goes across the goal line. Face off's going to come all the way down into the Burnaby zone as the Ravens go to line up to the right side of the Wildcats goaltender. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck drop, face off won by the Burnaby, but picked up by Hernandez as they try to go up the middle with it. Hernandez takes it to the wall, but now Sear with it. Sear unable to handle it cleanly. Comes out to the middle now on the Tran stick. Tran looking to set it up. Tran back to the blue line for Macy. Macy over for Sear. Sear with a shot towards the net, just wide. Now from behind the net, play continues as Tran battles off a check and gets it on her stick. Tran looking to with a couple of moves. Now she loses the handle on it and stepping up on that is Sear. Now the play continues and now we're going to have a penalty called. It's going to be against, I think, Macy. And it's tripping as we have 6 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the game. The Ravens go to another penalty kill. Macy, a little bit slow to get up. Two minutes goes on the clock. Face-off works its way down into the Ravens zone to the left side of Babcock. Brand to take the face-off. Puck is dropped. Face-off one to the wall by the Ravens. They chip it off the wall, and now it gets out to the neutral zone. D to D that goes, and now chip back into the Ravens' end. Ravens back to pick it up off the back wall. They're going to try and eat it behind the net. Now the Ravens get it on their stick. They're going to go off the glass, and it works its way all the way down the ice. Great job there by the Ravens to clear it down. A minute 38 remaining in the power play. Tran gives chase as the Wildcats now having a hard time handling that number 13 Tran. It gets onto the stick of Cabana. Cabana unable to handle it. Now the Wildcats carry it in the zone. Cabana battling for it still as it's deep in the Ravens zone and now comes out to the slot. From the slot back to the point. From the point, shot wide of the net. It comes out the far side and off the wall and down the ice, but not past the blue line. Now on Tran's stick, Tran, she makes sure she gets it deep as the Ravens. Tran doubles back for a change. Sear out to pick it up. Sear putting pressure on. Now she turns it over and chips it back deep. Now in after is Hernandez. Hernandez, she reads the double back by the forward there as the Wildcats are having a hard time breaking out of the zone. 45 seconds remains in the power play for the Wildcats, but the Ravens doing a great job of keeping the play deep in the Wildcat zone. Now the Wildcats get it into the Ravens zone. They walk their way into the middle. The shoot stopped by the defender, and she clears it out. Wildcats have to touch up. They go D to D with the puck in the neutral zone and now carry it in. Play to the outside. Now from the outside, it gets put into the middle. The Ravens make sure they get it out to the outside and the far side. Now the play back out to the blue line. Held in deep by the defender, and now the Ravens battling for it behind their own net. From behind the net, the battle continues as the puck gets left behind, and now the Wildcats back to the blue line. It's D to D, and now the Ravens unable to handle it, and we're 5-on-5 here as the play continues, and the Ravens get it on their stick. Ravens chip forward for McDonald on the near side. McDonald battles off the check. Now play continues as Hernandez walks her way towards the net. Penalty coming up against the Wildcats. Babcock makes her way to the net as Sear gets it on her stick. Sear with a shot. It goes through the bodies and out the far side. Tran in on it. We're 6-on-5 here as Tran gets a shot short side. Save made by the goaltender, and we're going to get a stoppage in play. And the Ravens go to the power play with 3 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the third period. Game tied at 1. Face-off. It's going to be the left side of the Burnaby Wildcats goaltender. Basket. McDonald. Miguel. Macy and David out there for the Ravens. It gets on the stick of McDonald. McDonald for David. David, Miguel. Miguel, David. David, Macy. Macy rips one. That hits a body in front. Miguel back to David. David. David takes a shot. Back to Macy. Macy rips another one right on. Save made by the goaltender. Holds on to that one with 3:37 remaining in the third period. A minute 39 remaining in the power play for the Richmond Ravens. Miguel over to take the face-off. Face-off dropped. It goes out to the wall. Ravens trying to get control of it. Battle continues as Ravens. McDonald carries it around behind the net. Now she tries to put it out front. It gets there. Shot just wide of the net by Miguel. McDonald centers it again. Now on the stick of McDavid. Miguel. Miguel can't put it on net. McDonald puts it short side. Now it's picked up by Miguel. Miguel back to Macy. Macy for Miguel. Miguel unable to handle it cleanly. It gets underneath some feet, and now a shot saved by the goalie. Rebound, and another one, and another one, and another one. But Miguel unable to beat the goaltender who makes all the saves. No stick on it, or no stick in her hand. 1 minute and 1 second remain in the power play for the Richmond Ravens. 2:59 remain in the third period. 1-1 is the score. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck is dropped, won cleanly by the Wildcats. It comes back to the blue line. David has it on her stick. David, she fans on that one, and now she has to get some help from her partner, Macy, or to David. David to wing over to the far side for Hernandez. Hernandez back for Macy, back for Hernandez, short side. Now Hernandez loses the handle on that as she gets poke checked. Back for Macy with a shot through traffic, save by the goaltenders. 32 seconds remains in the power play for the Richmond Ravens as they get shots towards the net. On the ice now, we're getting a defensive zone change. Sear and Nishi out there for the Ravens. Hernandez is going to get beyond for the faceoff. Faceoff won by Hernandez, back to Nishi. Nishi across for Sear. Sear with a shot towards the net, tip just wide. It comes to the near side, and the goaltender's going to hold on to that one. 24 seconds remains in the power play for the Richmond Ravens. .222 remains in the period. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Ravens, who gets on the Sear stick. Sear finds Nishi. Nishi shoots it towards the net. It goes wide and comes out the near side, and the goaltender's going to hold on to that one before the Ravens can jump on top of it. 17 seconds remains in the man advantage for the Richmond Ravens. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck is dropped. Face off won by Hernandez to the wall for wing. Wing back to the blue line for Nishi. Nishi across for Sear. Sear lets the shot go. Goaltender makes a save and kicks it to the corner. Now the play goes off of the Richmond Ravens and up on a play, and we have 7 seconds remaining in the man advantage as we get a line change here. Coming on the ice now is Tran and Miguel. Face off the right side of the goaltender. Puck is dropped and now picked out by the Wildcats. They get it out to the blue line. Sear shoots it into traffic, and now it gets stopped by the Wildcats. Wildcats with 1:55 carry it down ice, and we're 5-on-5 here. Now a shot hits a body in front, and the Ravens pick it up. They try to chip it up the wall, and now it's down the ice and through the neutral zone as Tran gives chase. Puck comes back along the wall. Tran picks that off. Now Tran fights off the check. Tran working her way into the corner with it. Tran reverses it back for her sister. Now she's going to pull it back out. Tran back to the blue line. And now Nishi shoots it towards the net. It goes wide of the net and out the far side. In after it, though. It gets stopped at the blue line for Sear. Sear chips it in down low. But Tran goes in after it, and the Wildcats get control of it. Wildcats chip it all around the defender, and now they come up ice. Wildcats work their way to the middle, and Babcock makes the save. She's going to hold on to that one with 1:10 remaining. We get a stoppage in play as the faceoff's going to be deep in the Raven zone. Face off to the left side of Babcock, deep in the Raven zone. 1:10 remains. Tied at 1. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Ravens. They put it out to the wall, but it's held by the Wildcats. Wildcats put it deep in behind the Ravens net. First one there is Raven. They chip it over to the near side. From the near side, they reverse it back in behind the net. Sear with it on her stick. Sear looks forward for McDonald. McDonald forward for Hernandez. Hernandez gets it out to the neutral zone, but that's about where it's going to end up as it comes back down into the Raven zone. On the stick of the Wildcats from behind the net, they double back. And now on the near side, they turn. It's on the stick of Hernandez. Hernandez with it. Hernandez chips it forward, and now it comes across ice and onto the stick of the Ravens. McDonald with a stop up, and that ends up getting held in by the Ravens as Sear steps in. Sear backhands it deep and gives chase with 24 seconds remaining. Sear in after it. It's on the near side. McDonald, she holds it up. Now Sear and McDonald battle for it right in front of the players' bar. Play continues. It now back on the McDonald stick. Back for Sear. Sear for Hernandez. Hernandez leaves it for the defender, David. David shoots it right on. Rebound picked up by the goaltender. And she gets the whistle with 0.1 seconds remaining in the game. Face off to the right side of the goaltender. We are going to have a stoppage here as the game ends. A tie game between the two top-seeded teams in the league. 1-1 is the score. Shots on goal were 17-27 in favor of the Richmond Ravens.